Let's get started. Without further ado, my name is Michael Robinson. I am the Chief Operating Officer of Ynvisible Interactive, and I'm joined here by an amazing team. We're all in Europe, actually. Funny enough, I'm in Portugal at our development headquarters, and I'll let the team introduce themselves. I'm joined by Tommy Hoogland, our VP of Sales and Marketing, Jarno Velmas,
Hello.
our head of creative, and Felix Carlson, our head of marketing.
Hello, everyone.
So welcome. We're going to have a little bit of an interactive session. Jarno, if you don't mind, Jarno's going to do the driving on the PowerPoint slides, and we're going to try our best through any technical glitches to just make sure we're able to flow. Perfect. So we're Ynvisible Interactive. We're located here in Europe between Lisbon, Portugal, where I'm located in our development center, Linköping, Sweden, where our manufacturing is. And we're a full service manufacturer of electrochromic displays. And so you're going to say, what the heck is an electrochromic display? And we're going to share that with you. But one way we like to talk about our technology is that we're basically the face of the Internet of Things. And so signals and data is all around us. So we have these devices, cell phones, and signals and data from the NFC chips and antennas, and the signals are all around us. Our displays really bring that data, those signals, to life. We like to say we're really easy visual indicators for the Internet of Things. And so we're really glad that you could join us today. What we'd like to do is share our technology with you for actually some of your feedback. We'd like to see what you're interested in based on how our technology can be applied to solve real world problems. Okay, but first of all, we want to hear from the audience. Tell us about you. So I'm going to give us just 1 or 2 minutes. This might be another opportunity to try that chat functionality out. Tell us where you're from and what do you do, or what company you're from, or what area of business you're in, retail, brand, research, academics. Tell us where you're from. So we have a data scientist joining us here from NYU, Ariana, nice to meet you. Biz dev for technology company based in Latin America. Nice to meet you, Diego. Diconia, Martin, very nice to see you. Digital strategist and evangelist. Justin is a senior product manager based in Canada. Loblaws Digital, fabulous, and fulfillment. So a lot, in-store technology and fulfillment. We hope we will be able to speak to you. Hi, Ethan from Brooklyn, an analyst for corporate fashion brands, and he runs his own jewelry business. Jason from Philadelphia, point of purchase designer, great. Graphic design, tech consultant in London, merchandise coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we're in Europe. When we say football in the US, you can probably tell by my accent. I'm a New Yorker. Go Eagles. But when we say football, we mean American football, right? Yeah, great. Merchandise, e-mobility, Austria. Go Birds, exactly. All right, so without further ado, and thank you very much for helping us understand where you're coming from. And what we're going to do our best to do is tell us about our technology, but really put that in the context of the products and services that are so important to you as customers. So first, we're going to start with who we are. And Tommy Hoogland, our VP of Sales and Marketing, is going to bring us through that. We're going to break for a little Q&A. There's a lot of technical information there, and I'm sure it'll raise some curiosity around our capabilities and the technology. Then we're going to bring you right into some user experiences. So what we wanted to do is really make this an interactive session. And one of the best ways to do that is to show you kind of how our technology could be used in really driving user experiences on the product level, as well as on the retail and logistics levels. We're going to take polls. So in between each of those product concepts, we're actually going to poll you to see what's interesting. And we may actually ask if one of you wants to jump on stage and actually tell us what's interesting, or maybe even share a question. That would be great. And then I think the best thing about Ynvisible is we like to get engaged. We meet you where you're at. So we like to get engaged through workshops, speaking to you about our technology in more detail, and we invite you to join us. If you find this interesting and want to learn more, go to www.ynvisible.com/RIW. You can sign up right there. We'll get in touch with you, and hopefully that leads to a great conversation, and we'll be able to workshop some ideas with you directly. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Tommy Hoagland to lead us through who we are.
Thank you, Michael, and thanks for the introduction. And I mean, just as Michael stated also, Ynvisible, we are the world-leading manufacturer and developer of electrochromic displays. And our display technology really brings everyday objects to life. And as you can see here, it should be moving a bit more in the slide here showing the video. We have a pretty impressive, easy graphical interface that is interactive. So we are bridging the gap, you could say, between the printed world and the digital world by having the interactiveness using our display technology. And as you will see, many of the potential applications that we can bring with our display technology are really suitable within the retail sector and the retail industry. I think we could click once more, Jarno, on this slide to just give a picture also of who we are. The managers of Ynvisible represent a really great experience in the world of printed electronics, and also with Michael, the retail sector as well. Together we have over 75 years of experience we have been adding to each other here. And together with our amazing team of around 30 employees, we do on a daily basis interact with different customers and help them to fulfill their goals and bring the electrochromic display technology into different applications. We can move on. But how do we do this, and what is our offering? So what you can see here on our slide is different examples of our electrochromic display technology, and I can hold it up here as well, as you could see. And what our technology really gives is that it gives a truly low energy display technology that can be integrated to a lot of different objects running on really low power. It's actually the only display technology that is able to not only communicate and be started with NFC or Bluetooth, but it can also actually run on the power from NFC and Bluetooth. So it's the only display technology in the world to be allowed to run directly by harvesting the energy from the NFC signal or the Bluetooth signal. And it's also a very cost-effective display technology. And this is due to that it's being produced and can be produced in mass production using roll-to-roll screen printing. And I actually just have a roll here to show you how these displays can be done in rolls and delivered to you. And that, I think, is also very important when we talk about retail. Let's not forget about that it's really also is about volume and cost. And then, as I show you also, it's really flexible, it's thin, and it's very robust. It can withstand really harsh handling as well. And then we would also like to state that it's really eco-friendly, much due to that it's so low power, so it can reduce a lot of all that battery energy that you might need for other display technologies or so. And then of course that it's also only built up using organic materials as well. And the way that it's presented is also very non-intrusive, I would say, to any user in this. And we build up our display, just to go a bit technical, as Michael said, we build up it by printing it layer by layer. And that's how we create this truly flexible and thin display that can be then introduced in a lot of different applications and allowing displays in entirely new places where displays have not been possible to incorporate before. We could go to the next slide, Jarno. And what I showed you was, maybe you saw a bit of a small displays, but if you look at me in the camera here, we can also do really large area displays like this one. It's in the size of an A4 sheet actually. And here we also have, I think, a customer that have really evaluated our display technology, compared it to other display alternatives, and concluded that with our technology, they could really enlarge the size of the display and also make huge cost savings. And it's always nice when you can get this type of a feedback to a customer and see that you can help allow new applications where it was not possible to have it before. And I think large area displays is also something that is interesting in many retail applications, with a display that can be also connected and run together with your offerings on the web or so, and literally be really strongly connected between the graphical and the digital world. And we can move to the next slide there now. And to summarize a bit and give you a quick idea about our offering and our capabilities, we have prepared a really short video that we like to show you now. So sit tight for only 2 minutes and you'll see more of me, my colleagues, and our production facility here.
I am Tommy Höglund and I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Ynvisible and the Managing Director for Ynvisible Production AB. At Ynvisible Production, we are helping other companies scaling up their business and bringing their products into high volume. The electrochromic display is thin, lightweight, flexible, and has a really low power consumption, allowing you to have a visual interface on almost any product. And really important, it can be produced in high volumes in roll-to-roll production. Roll-to-roll production is basically high volume production, where you can print continuously, for example, electrochromic displays, but also other printed electronics components and systems. We also offer roll-to-roll tester, where we can test each and every component.
Whatever we print in our printing line, we test it here first before we deliver to our customer. And we mark the ones that has not passed the test so that we can avoid using those 5% bad ones or less than 5% bad ones at our customer. And it's very, very useful for our quality control.
After we have printed it, we can also convert it, which means we can laminate on adhesives or barrier films. We can die and kiss cut to singulate the products, and we can slit it into single track rolls.
We have the capabilities in our equipment, but most of all in our very competent personnel. And their competence also allows them to provide the tech transfer sometimes needed to other companies and production sites. Using our roll-to-roll capabilities with both printing and testing, we are today delivering commercial products to our customers. And we are now scaling up, and we can help you through every stage of the process to bring your product to the market.
Well, thank you for this, and this was an introduction to the production capability where I'm actually standing at the moment and looking at our print line just behind me. And if we go to the next slide, Jarno, I try to summarize a bit about our company. So we would say that we have a really full service offering to our customers, and we can help our customers all the way from ideation to volume production. And we have our R&D services where we can discuss and ideate around different products, look into depth on the challenges that might be with your application. We can run some R&D projects on different materials and other things like that. And of course, we improve our own capabilities and products all the time. And then for many of you, I think a prototype offering that we have is really interesting. This is where you can test our products in your design. So we have created really a standard offering that for only 2,500 euros, you can get 10 to 50 units of your own design and try it out, have a look at it, integrate it into your own product concept at an early stage. Or we can also go in depth and make a real prototype project where we do all the design of all the different components as well to allow you to have an easy access to your end solution sort of. And then we can help you into volumes as well with, as you saw in the video, a qualification system as well to give you a guarantee of the quality of the displays that we are delivering to you to be integrated in your product. So with this, I would like to end our company presentation and our offering. And as Michael said, we're based in Europe. We have 3 different locations in Europe at the moment. We have our prototyping services in Portugal. We have our research unit in Freiburg in Germany. And here in Sweden, we have our production of the displays in high volume, as well as also other printed electronics manufacturing as well. So I think we will jump out from this now and see if there's any questions, and then move on to show you some examples as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Tommy. Great. That was a great presentation. I was actually trying to field some of the questions myself on chat, and maybe I'll go back to Justin's question. Can they handle freezing temperatures? Absolutely. And what are the tolerances? Tommy, I'll actually turn this over to you. We had some recent testing, actually. Great news, as Tommy was holding up, was a temperature sensing label. So Tommy, if you yeah.
Like this, and this is a temperature threshold indicator. So it's not a logger, but it's giving that easy visual interface for everybody in the cold chain to see if a threshold have been breached or not. And to our in-depth knowledge that we have got working with this project for over a year now, it's really, really important to have that visual interface, because there are so many actors in this chain, and not all of them are equipped with a reading device or have the education or ability to do the readouts and stuff. So visual indication is really crucial for these type of applications as well. And minus 30, yes, we did the tests just before Christmas, confirming that the display is switching in minus 30 as well.
Hey, 2 more questions, kind of maybe molded into one question there, but how much freedom do you have on the image that you print on the displays? And do they have to be geometrically based images? And then a question from Tiona, what are some common products you guys have integrated this with before? Maybe I'll turn that over to Felix and Jarno.
Sure. So I'm actually writing an answer to Justin's question regarding power requirements. I think I can answer that before then. The power requirements is about 1 microwatt per square centimeter of active display area. So it's very, very little power requirements. And I think a nice feature to highlight is that when you have activated the display, it has an image memory. So you can give it a small pulse to activate it, and it will stay on for a certain time. What is now that's continuous, so that's per. Reading the chat here simultaneously. So I hope that answers your questions. But I think this image memory characteristics is very, very relevant in the applications that we will discuss later. Because when you have turned it on, it will stay on for 15 minutes up to several hours without any power whatsoever.
Perfect. And thank you, Martin, for your question. And maybe to answer the next question there, why don't we jump right into our product concepts? So I'm going to hand the mic back to Tommy Höglund to bring us right into one of the first of the 5 application examples, the perfect beer label. And there you go. Go for it.
Thanks again, Michael. I mean, you don't want a perfectly cold beer on a hot day or any day when you want to really enjoy a bottle of beer. And if we jump to the next slide, we can show you what we thought of. Yes. So as you can see here, we have a product that have pre-encoded values. What is the perfect beer and at what time and it takes to chill a beer. And we just thought that it's a product that could be easily activated by the end user by just a push button. And then it shows that it has started and that it's ongoing, and it's requesting you to actually wait a bit before the beer is perfect. And then when it's ready, the third display is turned on and showing now. Just perfect beer to enjoy, and maybe it's possible to make something out of it, like this is according to maybe your brewmaster's recommendations or things like this. I don't know, we just thought that why not use, when we have made a product like this that is really a real product with very high temperature accuracy that could be used in cold chain, for example, for vaccines and other stuff, that we could play with this. We can play with the graphics. We can play with the form factor as well, and make use of it and help people to just enjoy and relax and have some fun, and also help brands then to maybe have a good giveaway to have a brand extension as well. So that's our idea of a concept, and to inspire you to present your ideas and thoughts on this.
That's great, Tommy. And this is a great example of how at Ynvisible, our expertise is really bringing that data to life, right? Your product inherently, there's data in that experience of enjoying a cold beer, right? Is it that perfect temperature? Is it that, not to mention, cold chain logistics and the importance of cold chain logistics, but, there's data in everything, and that data can be important in different experiences, and that's an application of our technology. So before we move on to the next concept, any questions about this concept or anyone like it? Maybe we'll do a poll here. Let me try to create a poll really quickly. Beer label, like it? And let's say we got a yes and we got a no. Or with a tweak. And that might invite some folks up if they want to tweak it. The poll was just sent. If you go to the poll tab, you can click on it, I think. Can everybody see? Oh, show results. That's the way to do it. There we go. Show results. How do we do that? See, I'm just learning how to use this session as well. So pardon me. While I don't know if anybody else can see the poll results. No? All right, maybe we'll give it a give it a try in another, but pretty cool concept. Curious to know how you guys are planning to track that data and how will your partners have access to it. Well, that's kind of the beauty, Tiona. The beautiful thing about our technology is that it can actually be untethered or tethered to the internet, right? So a standalone product experience where you're one-on-one with that user. I mean, when have you taken a break from your beer to check its temperature on your phone, right? So our technology really helps those consumers, those users, get closer to that product without having to take out a device. Now, certainly, our technology, actually, we can tie in NFC, RFID, technologies like this into the product experience as well. But that's one of the main benefits of having that visual display right there on the product.
And maybe, Michael, I can build upon what you just said to keep answering the question and evolve it a bit more. So this is a bit like what the temp tag would look without any graphical overlay to it. And as you can see, it's components there. There's the display, and that's in this product is also, of course, a battery base because the electronics need the battery. And the point here, what we show is that the display can easily be integrated into any other type of electronic device. And by adding the display, you also add a easy visual interface to almost any application. And that helps your user and your customer to have a more easy access to the information and understand what to do or things like this. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tommy. So apparently a couple of things. People can see the poll. We got 10 likes, 1 no, and 1 tweak so far. So just to invite someone up, what tweak should we make on this? If you want to text it or if you want to come to the stage, feel free. All right. And what's the price point for this was another question. And so there's, I just need to run and get a power cord. Tommy's going to run and get a power cord. This is the beauty of our displays, right? Ultra low power. Unfortunately, our computers run on a whole lot of power. So I just wanted to speak to maybe what's the price point for this. That's kind of the beauty of our displays as well. Our pricing can really range based on the size of the display and the complexity of the application, right? I think what's really important is also to understand the value of the experience. And so just to give you an anecdotal example, we use thermometers, electronic thermometers. They have what are called LCD screens in them. These are the screens that you can find in your calculators. I actually have a calculator right here with an LCD screen. Well, these screens have what are called segmented displays. Those LCD screens are exactly the types of displays that we produce, but in thin, flexible form. These displays, they're made out of glass. They're made out of multiple materials. They take a battery, a big battery to power, a dime coin cell battery, and they actually drive a really thick form factor. So any of you designers out there, around form factors, right? So, when you have to design something like this around the technology, that drives cost. That drives cost for the materials you're using. It drives cost for the folding carton that this goes into, the pallet, the shipment. So when we really talk about price, what our technology can really help deliver is real lifetime value for products, whole value for products. We can drive thinner form factors, less power usage. So that's what we work on with our customers. We like to engage with our customers to really discover where are those opportunities to add value back to that product experience. All right, Tommy's back. Is your product recyclable? I think that's a great question. Tommy, do you want to field that one?
Recyclable, I would say no, it's hard. As you can saw in one of my slides, we build it up by printing layer by layer. And at the moment, there are R&D projects actually ongoing in different countries where they look into the full stack of a printed electronic device and how you actually should recycle it. But we're not there yet because it's several different layers that you need to potentially dissolve from each other to divide them up into different materials again. And so, but it's still an environmental product when you look at the total life cycle of the product and the power consumption of the product as well, and using organic materials.
Exactly.
I mean, potentially you could reuse it by taking away the display and put it back into a new product or so. But
yeah,
I'm the sales guy, but not even I can say that it's really recyclable yet.
Yeah, but Tommy, exactly to your point, I think the magic of this technology is it's organic materials that have become functional with electricity. And we use PET films in order to make those displays. So we're not using crazy, materials like lithium or resourcing, exotic materials. Really, these are materials that you find every day and with polymers that are used in everyday packaging as well. All right, perfect. So thank you for that Q&A. That's kind of how we'll flow. We've got about 20 minutes left. So why don't we hit the next concepts and see how.
Sure. This is an example of a fully printed electronic system, including a dynamic QR code. And one way to use dynamic QR codes is for authenticity and brand protection. So the basic idea is that the consumer can use their smartphone to activate the display via NFC. So if the display is activated, the consumer will be certain that it's the real product. So, and the reason why they can be really certain about this is because Ynvisible is the only actor that can produce this solution. We have a proprietary display technology, so it cannot be copied. And this concept is possible since our display require extremely little energy, as I explained before. And for this particular solution, we don't need any battery. So the energy from the smartphone is more than enough to power up the display. It's based on sustainable electronics. Also touching upon this topic again, the entire system can be printed directly on either paper or plastic. So actually we don't always need to print on PET. We can also print on paper. The labels can be placed on, for instance, a bottle with a curved shape, thanks to the thinness and flexibility. And this is clearly impossible with the LCD that Michael explained before, as you can see in a calculator, for instance. You can move to the next slide, Jarno. And this is the part that I personally like the most. So when the display is activated by the user, different QR codes can pop up for different purposes. A QR code creates a connection between the physical world and the digital world. So in this particular example right here, we have a customer reviews landing page, but it can be basically anything. So it's a very versatile solution here. So it can be a treasure, really creative here. So this dynamic QR code, it serves two purposes. First of all, it's for brand protection and authenticity, and it's also to increase the user engagement. So this was this concept. So let's take a short minute break and see if you have any questions.
Great. I think Ethan's asking a great question. So the QR code on your product change depending upon requirement while still on the bottle. I think that's a great question for you.
Yes, exactly. So depending on how we build the systems, either we have a kind of a static QR code that will just appear and it's pre-programmed. We know what QR code it is from the start, or we make a dynamic QR code, and it can be depending on historic events. You can show different QR codes, so you can be really creative here.
Ethan asked again, so they're printed in layers. And is that, Ethan, is that you mean the QR code itself or the label itself? So the label itself is printed in layers, but the display itself, the actual QR code itself is activated. You have a display layer that's actually activated with NFC. If I maybe answered that question okay.
Yeah, so I think it's quite clear, not totally clear to be honest, here on the screen. The one to the left is a version with a non-activated display, and the version to the right is with an activated display. So the version to the right here, the bottom to the right, is after the user has used their smartphone and NFC to activate the display.
Very interesting. So always activated by NFC. I would say, go ahead, Felix.
Yeah. So I mean, we can use other kinds of wireless energy transfer methods, so to say. I would say that NFC is maybe the easiest and the most standard way to do it. And then we are collaborating with various companies for other versions as well. And I think we see a lot of new innovations popping up in this industry as well. So wireless charging methods, basically.
I think what I love about this concept is you see really the versatility of our technology, the ability to be applied as a label on a curved surface, which no other technology, no other segmented technology can really do and deliver. And then that versatility around that consumer, the dynamism of the consumer experience where you're interfacing, getting multiple levels of interaction out of that product experience for the consumer. Perfect. So why don't we move to the next concept? I think this is an exciting one as well. Oh, should I do another poll? Beer label, do you like it? Let's see if I can create another poll here. Sorry about this. I should have done this. QR. Yes. No. And with a tweak. Sorry, folks. I should have done this beforehand. There we go. Results, so I'm going to leave it to the audience to maybe tell us what they think and feedback. But great, maybe we'll move to the next, maybe the next concept.
So product selector is about helping the customer to find what they're actually looking for and help them to stay in that moment where they are really focusing on your product. And this is an application that might use the smartphone functionality, but it can also be a concept that don't use the smartphone functionality, because sometimes you like to give that product selector feature without having the person picking up its smartphone and potentially starting focusing on something else. And I think Michael, in your role working for L'Oreal, was one of the companies that actually have tried out the concept of having a product selector in the store, where you have this easy graphical interface. It looks like a printed product, but still it's interactive and can function together with the customer to to help them make the right choice, sort of, and make that purchase decision. But it can also just as well, with the display on products or on the shelves or things like this, help the customer to give practical guidance to, I know what type of product that I'm after, but how can I easily understand and access this? And then it can be interfaced with some different communication interfaces like Bluetooth or NFC or RFID technology coupled with it. So that's the concept idea here. And here, for example, you see an example where you have the ability to, with a ping, sort of reach out to the item level product and give them an okay, and that you're sure that this is your box or this is the product that you're really looking for. And here's an opportunity we see with the electrochromic display technology to, with its label like form factor, to be integrated in these types of products.
Let's open up for a little bit of Q&A. This is one of my favorite concepts because if any of you have done home repairs, you know, going to the hardware store, you think, oh my gosh, I need a drill bit, but you're presented with a million different tools and ways of making a hole. To just be able to have that one way of saying, okay, this is what I've got to do, just point me to that direction. It's really, I love this concept personally. Now I put a poll out in real time, so if everyone wants to kind of jump on and vote on the poll, that would be great. Again, we can't see the poll, but if anyone wants to take a tally for us really quickly, that would be awesome.
Michael, I see a question here. The question is the display always activated by near-field communication? And that's no. I mean, you could have any power supply. I mean, harvesting near-field communication is one possibility that you can use, but you could also have, like, you can have a battery, but there could also be other forms of energy harvesting, like if you have organic photovoltaics, like solar cells, could be one way of powering the display. And we also have proved that it can function with using Bluetooth. That is another communication interface as well, where we can harvest energy to power the display as well. And of course, you can also use a battery as the power source as well. So the display is not bound to NFC. It can be other RFID technologies as well powering the display. So there are many options. So I think you should talk to us and discuss your potential application, and we will help you and see what would be the most suitable power supply for your application.
Perfect. With that, why don't we jump to the next? I think this is the next product concept. Yeah, item level digital labels. So I kind of, anyways, I love this one as well. Sorry.
You love everything, Michael.
I love everything.
That's awesome. So yeah. So as Tommy mentioned before, we have a very, very cost-effective technology, and this actually opens up for putting a digital price label on a physical order. This gives many benefits, such as always having the latest and correct product information on each item, and the labels can also show. They do not need to only show prices; they can also show such as inventory information or customer reviews, or basically anything up to your imagination. And store owners can digitally optimize the pricing on each item and thereby also increase profit. they can change several prices at the same time without increasing their labor cost. And they can also run more detailed promotions, for instance, for certain sizes or colors. And they can also match e-commerce prices in real time with their physical store prices. So you can go to the next slide there, Jarno. And from our perspective, we see that this has an opportunity for a very short payback period based on the kind of benefits that I just mentioned. But again, also since we can offer a very cost-effective solution. And this example is all about reusable labels. So it's not single-use devices. They will have a very, very long lifetime. Again, it's sustainable electronics, and in this case, again, no battery needed. We can transfer both the data and the power wirelessly. So this is the concept, and looking forward to hearing your questions and ideas here.
Yeah, I do love everything, and especially I love this because I like sneakers. I'm a bit of a sneakerhead, Yeezy. But I like this especially because when you think about like just those items that we kind of crave, those kind of, those drops from Nike, could you imagine if in real time you were able to engage with that product being available in the market, or, get more information, or get a special kind of promo on that last thing, or have a countdown, right? I'm buying literally the 10th Yeezy shoe that just dropped. I think that this is a super cool way to drive brand engagement, and that really special around really, really special one-of-a-kind products. Agreed quickly, top of mind, amazing technology. Thank you, Prashwith. Product selector. So I put another poll out there. I know in the last few minutes that we have, I think we have another one more concept. Perfect. I'll let you take it away, Felix or Tommy.
This is mine, potentially, yeah. Okay, sorry for that confusion there. But yeah, one other thought and idea of concept that we have now, a bit inspired by the COVID and the pandemic situation in the world, is, when you enter a store, at least where I'm located here in Sweden, there is a lot of this plexiglass between you and the person sitting in as the cashier, where you should make your orders, and so to protect both parties, which are good. And then we thought of why not using the electrochromic display technology on those type of surfaces, and giving different messages like welcome, it's your turn now, or just a smiley, or hello, or things like this. And potentially you could also have some interactivity, like a poll. What was your experience today? And you could have, so you don't have to touch anything. You could have like a capacitive, so you only have to be close with your hand or your finger. So it reacts anyway, and the customer is able to give some feedback or so. So we see this as also something where we could make use of our electrochromic display in retail environments and retail applications to maybe make those plexiglasses even a bit more functional and helping giving a good customer experience. So this is with signage and so this is our idea, so to say. And here we have actually also started to work a bit with the idea to use the power supply from using organic photovoltaics, maybe on top of the plexiglass or something like that, to harvest the strong light in retail environments and make power out of it to drive the display or something.
That's great. Thank you.
Throw out one more idea.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy. And I think we're just under the wire here, and I shared a poll. You know, I hope what you saw was a great range of how our technology, how our solution can be applied to drive customer retail, product experiences, and safety experiences, right? The experiences that we're going through every day now, especially in this new reality that we live in. We couldn't get to all of the questions, but definitely we want to encourage you. Please join us again at www.invisible.com/Retail Innovation Week, RIW/RIW. That way we could reach out to you. We could also share with you some more examples. Share with you also, I think what you heard was, how do these technologies all come together, right? So one of the things that is great, you heard we have 75 years of experience across these technologies, across industries. We can bring ideas to life with and for you. So we really appreciate your time. If anyone wants to stay, I don't know if we can extend this actually. Do we have more? I guess we have more time, but maybe we'll field some more of those questions, unless they want to kick us out. I heard that things end pretty quickly. So anyways, love it. Technology in a business card. Could you imagine a business card with, actually, I have this ski pass here. This is a ski pass that's actually can be activated with, I have a Galaxy. I'm not sure if it'll activate, but basically what you could do, you could go skiing, and if you do certain activities in your pass or during the day, those activities would light up. So you could think of like networking events when we can network all together again. But activities or festivals where you're going to certain kiosks and you may get a reward. That might be a great way of specialize in IoT technology, subject captivating. Thank you very much. Safety. We're showing you some product concepts and retail concepts, but a lot of what we participate in, and a number of our customers are also in the med tech space and supply chain and logistics. So these are companies that really understand the value of cold chain, especially now with the COVID vaccines. This is really important, right? It's not only to get those vaccines out there, but to get them out there safely and ensure that they can get that last mile of delivery from the fridge, those industrial fridges, into people's arms. What else? What else do we have here? Sorry, guys, I'm trying to.
One question about the possibility to connect to IoT, and just wanted to underestimate to state that all our concepts, the display itself can be really connected with the IoT world. So the display just needs a signal to showcase what it should showcase, and that signal can definitely be coming from with the Internet of Things. So just having the right type of communication interface and connecting the display with the right type of design. So absolutely.
Tommy, I think it might be good to mention again with that design aspect, one of the things, we make it easy for marketers and designers, people that, not engineers and technologists, really, like the people that are designing these experiences, right, for customers to get their hands on our products. I don't know if you want to mention that again.
It's really easy to get the hands on our products and try them out. I mean, on our website, we have an online shop, of course, and where you can buy our display kits and easily get access to them and play around with the display technology yourself to understand the capabilities. And then again, we have a customized prototype concept where you can easily make your own design. If you need some help, we of course are there to help you out and design your own displays and get between 10 to 50, we say. It's dependent on the size of your display then. Then you get your own design display, and then it's much more easy to envision and see what you're aiming at and how the solution might look, and showcase also other people in your own organization or customers. I think these possibilities, they are there and almost now standardized as a service from us. So.
It looks like we have 25 more minutes and we can use this space for dialogue. And I think, Tommy, one of the things that I'm seeing come up from Justin as well, and I don't know if you can speak a little bit more about that, but supply chain and logistics, right? The dimensions of supply chain and logistics that we're seeing emerge through the distribution of COVID vaccines, but also maybe chain of custody and other opportunities like this. Maybe speak a little bit to that.
For us, the logistics sector was a market already before the COVID situation, and one of the key application areas for our technology. And it's very much bound to what I said in my presentation earlier, that there are so many actors often in the cold chain, because it's called a chain, and there's always a link there, and it's several links that sometimes are not as so strong that they should be. And then when we have interviewed and discussed with multiple different customers and actors in the chain, we have understood that it's really helpful to have a visual indicator, because it's a sector where time is crucial and people are often stressed, and to keep the time limits, and maybe you don't have the possibility to make a readout on all objects, and then the visual indicators give a signal here. This package, the threshold have been breached. So that's enough, because then people want to act. Then they make an action. They remove that package from the shipment, and then they have time maybe later on to do the actual readout, to capture the data and get it into the system. So that's definitely a very, very interesting application area for the display.